If you don't do these first 3 steps, you will not build a correct product. You won't. You just won't. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel where we're helping more underestimated professionals beat the odds. I'm Jacquelle and let's dive back in. Today we're going to be discussing the exact thing that you need in order to have a full, comprehensive understanding about how to get started with your business. This of course is a very difficult topic for people to understand where to get started, what to do first. Do I start an LLC? Do I build a website? Do I get business cards? Do I, start building a product? Do I find a team? What do I do first? How do I make this happen? How am I going to make money? Do I even have money to start this? All of the questions that come when you want to start a business. Look no further. This is exactly what you need to get started. We will not do the things that will not actually get you success toward your business, and we will focus specifically on the things that will actually drive value toward you getting started. This is the fastest and most efficient way to achieve success with your business, and it rids of all of the things that people think that they need to do, but in fact actually do not and are huge distractions in you getting your business started. People still run into these pitfalls, and so here I am to help you get ahead of them so that you can have the fastest rise to the success that you are waiting for. So I'm excited to divulge this and save you a bunch of time in getting your business started. If you haven't already seen the video about mindset and getting yourself ready to take on a new business venture, go check out that video. This walks through all of the things that you need to think about in order to make sure that you're prepared and ready to get started on this journey, so that you also aren't distracted with the things that impact your business success. So if you want, you can follow along with a worksheet that I put together that outlines this exact strategy, all of the questions that you'll need to ask to help you frame exactly how you can make sure that this works for you, and remember it and be accountable toward it and stick to it. Put it on your wall, whatever you need to do, or have it as a screensaver on your laptop so that you know that you're only focusing on what actually matters. Let's dive in. So similar to the mindset video, we'll walk through a 6-step framework, easy to remember: who, what, where, when, why, and how. This is all you need in order to get started with your business. Let's start with the who. Who is making sure that you have a very clear understanding of your target customer. You cannot say, hey, I want to target everybody. I have a huge target market and this is going to be big because this applies to everybody. Fastest way to fail. You will be a little bit to everybody instead of exactly what a specific market is looking for. So the best way to grow is, like anything, niche down and then go specifically toward them. So identify who that is. If you are starting from a very big pool, understand who within that pool is having a really tough time figuring something out. So for example, in the business that I run, Fave, it is specifically toward fans, okay? That's a very big category. Nearly everybody is a fan. 4.2 billion people in the world identify as a fan. And so what I do is say, there are specific fans that are particularly frustrated. I started first with the music industry fans because they have the biggest frustration and problems. And then I started specifically with super fans, not casual fans, not those who identify as, yeah, I'll listen to that artist, like cool. But people who are completely and unapologetically driven by their passion for their favorite artist. I love these people. And even within music diehard superfans, there is still a slice of people who have access to big city or can go to certain events or can afford to go to concerts. And then there's people who are still just as obsessed with the artist, but don't have access to those things or can't afford it or don't live in a certain town. And we are doubling down on those people who want to be recognized, who want to be involved, but can't really have access to those things. And so we started with them and we are slowly working our way toward expanding that pool of people so that we can eventually hit any fan, but we focus so specifically on a certain kind of fan and a certain problem with certain attributes, okay? This is what you need to do. Take your domain and figure out the funnel of people starting from this big audacious thing that you have. Go down the funnel and you say, who specifically within this market has a big problem? Who specifically within that, gosh, really needs this? Who specifically can I target and solve something for them? And the further down you go, the easier it will be to find these people and that you can solve something for them directly. These people will be your advocates. They will be your cheerleaders. And that's what you need to grow your business, because people will now vouch for you. And that's that social proof is killer. And again, as you heard me talk about as we're going down the funnel, what are the big frustrations of that specific group? Again, with Fave, ticketing was a huge frustration. There were a ton of things that we could have tackled within fandom. Nearly nothing is solved when it comes to empowering fans, so we have a lot ahead of us. But specifically, the ticketing industry was something that we knew was the biggest pain point among these folks. And unfair access to tickets is the thing that we're solving specifically for diehard music fans. That's an incredible thesis to focus on and leads you directly to your target customer. You will win them over by solving what they're looking for. And once you get that impact, turn them into advocates, they spread the word, you grow your audience. This now brings us to the what. What is your solution? And this purposely comes after the who, because the best thing that you can do is figure out a market that you are passionate about. And before you even think of a solution, this is key. Before you think about what your product or service or experience is going to be, go to the people and ask them what they want and ask them what they need. And better yet, ask them what their frustrations are, because they may not even know what they need. And this is where your innovation comes in. You say, given your frustration, here is where I can layer on a solution to help make this process or this experience for you far more efficient than you're able to do today. So you go straight to the people and then you figure out your what. Once you figure out their frustrations, then you want to get specific about what you'll do first. There's a big difference between somebody expressing their frustrations that are like, yeah, it would be really cool if this was solved, to, if you solve this for me, I will come running. That is what you are looking for. You're looking for that thing that will have people jump out of their seat to get the solution that you're now suggesting for them to solve their problem. Figure out your who, figure out their frustrations, understand what the biggest one is, and where you can uniquely add innovation in order to make that frustration more efficient. And let me be clear here. The reason why I'm such a big advocate of you starting first with the who to identify the what is because people have a tendency, especially when they are innovators at heart, to want to layer in technology when it's actually not necessary. And this is a huge mistake that I see even the best of the best do. Frankly, the more genius you are, the more you're at risk of this, unless you understand that you have to go first to the consumer. You will say, hey, I'm going to create this AI-driven product in order to... Nobody needs AI in order to walk their dog from point A to point B, right? Hey, maybe there's something that we can't think of and that's where you come in, but you have to see, hey, I can't find a time in my day to walk my dog. Help me. You don't need to get too crazy, right? Or you'll over-engineer certain things that will suck up a bunch of your time to create, and in the end, only adds a marginal difference to the core of the solution that people actually want from you. In fact, you could have gotten 80% of the way there, if not more, by keeping it simple and sticking to the basics of actually what that problem is solving for. So understand what that real bulk of the solution is. Forget the fancy stuff, and people will appreciate you far more for actually solving something real than saying, hey, this is a really cool thing that you can now use. People don't want cool, they want solutions. And this brings us to where? This is my favorite. You get to talk to people. You get to find out where people are hanging out, and you have to go there. So many times I see people jumping to, I'm gonna start building this thing and then create an MVP and then go test it out with customers. And they find that people actually don't want what they're selling, and they're shocked and they're confused. And they say, I'm so smart, but I built this thing. How come nobody wants it? And it's because you didn't actually go talk to them. And it's important to dwell on this for a second, because the reason you're starting your business is because you care about a certain market, likely because you come from that market or you experienced this problem yourself, or you have people around you who did, but you still don't understand what will actually drive real change in somebody's life until you go talk to them from their perspective. I was a fan growing up. I was a super fan. You couldn't tell me anything new about my favorite artist. I knew it like that. In a second, don't get me started, a whole other video, but I still had to go out and understand in today's day and age with today's social media and today's issues and today's services, what fans are frustrated by, right? Even in starting this channel, I have gone through this journey. I've built businesses. I understand this process. I've built products that reach from 0 all the way to billion people, but I still wanted to understand what you want out of this so that you can learn more effectively. And I've learned so much of what people struggle with in starting a business that now I can tailor this so much better to the people I'm trying to impact. And know that you will overestimate your knowledge of the market unless you go out and you genuinely talk to people. So go where their spaces are, go to the communities, go to Reddit, go to Facebook groups, go to the comment sections on a TikTok relevant to your market, go to forums, Google search, right? Jump into conversations. And after that, find a couple people that you resonate with what they say and ask them if you can jump on a call. That is where the gold is. They will more than likely pour out their hearts, pour out their frustrations, and you will get magic in what you will actually solve for people. If you don't do these first 3 steps, you will not build a correct product. You won't. You just won't. And you will find out the hard way, and you will waste a ton of time, and people will thank you for your time but not want what you're selling. And you'll have to go back to this, and you'll find out by them providing feedback on your product that you spent all the time and money putting out when you could have just gotten that up front. Let's continue. Next is when. You need to decide very clearly when you're ready to take the step to launch out into the market. This is another thing people make really big mistakes around, myself included. Again, all of the innovators and partners at Google, at YouTube, at my businesses everywhere. We still make this mistake where we launch too late. And I know this is gonna be your baby. This is your baby. This is your brainchild. It has to be perfect in order for it to go out. You did all this research, you know what they want, and you're building what they want, and you have to package it up beautifully and then put it out, right? No. The faster you can put out a product, the better. And it's going to be messy. And if it's messy, it's on time. This is the classic done is better than perfect, but not even done. If you have something that answers at minimum a little bit of the problem that they shared with you and gets them on their way, let's say it solves step 1 or 20% or has a preview of what you can deliver for them in future, they will still come running. I have been so delighted in my own experience from people being so willing to support you and your mission and your initiative when you show them so genuinely that you're really partnering with them to build this. At Fave, fans have been so genuinely supportive of what we're doing, even though I'm so transparent with them that, hey, this is the tip of the iceberg of what we have for you, but just give us some early feedback on this. And they see the vision, they know where this is going, and they will support us all the way until we get there and every step along the way. And if we waited until we built that whole vision that we have, we wouldn't have been able to have them be invested in the journey with us. They understand, they get it. In fact, so many of them actually find it interesting to see the ups and downs of our product development and the different things that we're learning. So it's an incredible experience, in fact, to partner with them and unpack more and more of our product experience so that they can unveil it with us. Iterate and learn in the wild along the way. That is the key to making sure that you have a successful product that grows with your audience instead of at your audience. Now, why? This is something to get very clear on, to make sure that you have a clear understanding of why you think this is an urgent problem. This will be relevant not just for other investors who are curious about your business, communicating a clear mission statement to your customers, but for yourself. Is this something that you care about, that you can see yourself building for years ahead? And is this something that you think is urgent enough that will drive people to your product today? That is where you can carve the specific offering that when you you give it in the hands of your users will actually be something game-changing and impactful to their lives. Ask yourselves these questions, unpack what that why is, and the best thing you can do here is actually let your customers know what that why is. The more you can wrap people into the vision and into the understanding of why you're building this in the first place, the more invested they will be in your business, the more understanding they will be with the pitfalls that you'll have along the way, undoubtedly, even if you watch this whole video, and you will grow advocates and true partners rather than just users. So let's talk about how. This is your execution plan, and it is incredibly important to map out how you're going to tackle each of the 5 steps that we talked about before. Who are your targets and how will you figure that out? What decision criteria will you use to narrow down based on what's important to you, how big the market is, how targeted you can get, and what will you do to figure that out? Then once you've defined your who, you'll prioritize based on their biggest needs, what solution you will deliver to them based on the unique innovation, insight, know-how that you have, that you are passionate about putting out into the world to bring value to these specific people. And you'll uncover that by going out and talking to them, going to their spaces, seeing how they move, seeing how they articulate their frustrations, not filling in any blanks unless you've talked to them and they've articulated it for you. I'll quickly share here that the whole notion around faster horses matters a lot here because people will suggest things to you that they want to see out into the world, but they will say something like, oh yeah, it would be great if my horse went faster, but instead you have in mind a solution for a car. I love that analogy. So yes, people will tell you what they think that you should build for them so that you solve their problem, but then ask them why back. Why are they suggesting that you build that for them? Why do they think that that's going to be the answer to their problems? Why is this something that they want right now? And from that data, not their suggestion, from that data, use that as the input into your innovation so that you know how you can form something that they actually want based on those whys, even if it's different from the suggestion that they have. They aren't the innovators here. They have been dealing with this frustration and they're relying on you and your smarts to solve it. So you have to take that data, the raw data, and put that toward your input and your brainstorm about how you'll solve this problem for them. And once you figure out your package of who you're targeting specifically, what you'll build for them, and you've actually talked to them, you've gone to their spaces, then you will map out when you will actually release this solution to them as early as you can. Honestly, even if it's a landing page or a quick prototype or something that you can start getting feedback on, that is all you need in order to start your business. That's it. This can take you 1 day to start. And then you have something that you can start iterating on and making better and better and smoother so that you can have something that really works for them. And all of this is wrapped around your why. Why is this a motivating factor for you to build something here? Why is this something that your customers care about? And that story and that connection should be shared so that people have a much deeper investment in this business as opposed to anyone else who's trying to tackle this. That is critical. So this should map for you the only thing, the only factors that you will need in order to get your business started. I don't want to hear anything from any of you about the first thing I'm going to go do is buy a domain, or the first thing I'm going to do is go create an LLC or make business cards or start building or start coding. Forget all of that. Go talk to people. That is the best thing you can do. And then once you figure out so specifically who you're building for and the specific thing that you're building for them, launch it as soon as you can. Start getting feedback and understand why this is something that will motivate you for years to come. So I can't wait to see this happen for many of you. There are, of course, more questions within each of these who, what, where, when, why, and how that you can answer so that you start unpacking it. If you want more guidance and details around this structure, I'm very happy to provide that for you. So if you got some value from this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe. As I shared before, this is just the start of the journey. I am so passionate about helping so many more of us become successful and rid of all of the things that you could run into when you're on that path. It's a very frustrating, lonely, demoralizing journey to go down. And if you can get ahead of a lot of the learnings that a lot of people don't tell you about, genuinely, they don't share these kinds of things with us, this could save you so much and get you on a path to success. So come on, let's go and join us here if you want to hear much more of this. And if you really want to deep dive, I'm starting a community of us to gather together, share resources, resources, share connects, share contacts, share access, share know-how, share tips, share a network of all of us who are really striving to rise to the top, break glass ceilings, and do it together. All right, let's support each other. So join at the link below, grab this worksheet, subscribe, like, hit the bell, all the things, and look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.